Capoeira is life. You learn a lot about yourself in capoeira. You learn a lot about your limits. Capoeira is about dancing, it's about movement, about music. Capoeira is every individual.
It's all about control, and the majority of the control is here.
It is freedom from oppression, and that's what I felt like it was for me.
You have to be an individual in capoeira. You have to be who you are and nobody else.
Well, I was taking an anthropology class at Rollins College at the time, and we were studying the diaspora of African slaves from Africa to other countries, mostly in the Caribbean. We didn't discuss Brazil so much, but that's what folklore talked about, was how capoeira originated in Brazil from the African slaves, and how it was a form of expressing their culture and keeping their identity, and also learning how to fight, staying fit, and probably much more fit than the people who were their slave masters.
About 400 or 500 years ago, during the slave trade, they would bring slaves from Africa to Brazil to work on plantations. What they were allowed to do at the end of the day was to go out and have free time. And that free time they could practice their own religion, speak their own languages, try to keep alive some of the cultural aspects that they brought over with them from Africa. Now, in the midst of all this dancing and singing they were doing from Africa, they decided to make a martial art, make it look like what they were doing was this harmless dancing and singing, which is where capoeira comes from.
It was just so interesting to me because the only time that I had heard about capoeira, admittedly, was when I was watching Meet the Fockers, I think, and Dustin Hoffman's character was like, "I know capoeira," you know. Oh, so that was what I knew about capoeira at the time.
The ginga is the base or the root of capoeira. It is that sway that you see when people going back and forth. Ginga literally translated means to swing or to sway. So going back and forth, it is our dance. It is what made the slave owners think that, oh, they're just dancing in the fields.
The idea is to remain as fluid as possible and to not stop and then start and then stop and then start, as it is with other martial arts. When we do our sway, when I first got here, I was all about keeping the shoulders tense, keeping the arms tense, and just fight, fight, fight. And if you do that, it really restricts your movement and especially your ability to flow into the next movement. You throw the kick, and likely after you throw the kick, somebody else is throwing their kick at you, so you need to get out of the way right away. You don't have time to do that pause. So you roll into that, and then you use that to work into your next move and into your next move.
Your ginga has to be you, has to be your individual personality. The berimbau sets not just the speed or the tempo of the game, but also the mood of the game. Different rhythms dictate different styles of play. The two major styles will probably be Angola and Regional. We can start with Capoeira Angola. It's considered to be the more traditional form of capoeira. It has more of the ritual that was brought over through the ages. Again, Capoeira Angola is you learn to be more fluid, a little bit more tricky, closer to your opponent, more of a low type game. In the 1930s, Mr. Bimba, one of our most important teachers, created the style of Regional. He made it more fight-like. And in doing so, he got it accepted by the government and ultimately got it accepted as the national sport of Brazil. So, but we go into the more contemporary, more modern times, and we have Capoeira Contemporânea, or contemporary capoeira. And it went doing so through show groups. People would go do capoeira on stage. But when they would do stuff on stage, it wasn't just kicking, kicking, kicking. They started incorporating flipping, doing different routines, and making it more of a show. Capoeira philosophy is about fluidity and learning to go with the flow.
I came in here and it's all about being loose and fluid and your control as opposed to striking the person as hard as humanly possible.
And it's more about learning about me than it is about fighting you. It's a different focus. The focus isn't over there, the focus is over here.
The whole aspect of control was exactly what I was looking for, and it really it wasn't about anger anymore or aggression, it was all about growing as a person.
The philosophy of capoeira really is what your philosophy. What is your approach to it? Capoeira conforms to your personality as much as you conform to it. There are a lot of sayings from famous teachers, from famous masters, that they say what capoeira is. Mr. Pasquina said capoeira is everything the mouth eats. So it's everything.
It just sort of worms its way into your life in a very good way, and you can't ever imagine letting it go.
There's definitely an element of freedom in capoeira.
It affects your life in every aspect. The things that we learn here, like learning to control yourself mentally and controlling your thought process and being aware, it comes out into every aspect of your life.
It is dance, it is fight. It is being fluid, but at the same time being able to strike back. It is what you are.
E no gingado a